Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Drunken Tarrasque. Where, where my co-host is now autistic and...
Shut up! We're gonna get letters for that, Mike! Where we demand to know! Where we demand to know.
What? They demand to know where to get the slinky?
Yes!
Okay, ladies
Yes,
and gentlemen,
Slinky.
as you can hear, we have Rachel Edwards and Brandon the
Hi.
homicidal guinea pig.
Okay, I'll put the slinky
Hi.
down. Hi.
Yes, in the name of this title, No Girls Allowed. Essentially talking about...
Hey!
Yeah, I'm the DM, I can kill. But anyway, we are talking about essentially people not to have in your games, and biggest funniest... Yeah. We all have our own stories, and here's the thing. Role-playing can be played by anyone, but it doesn't mean it's for everyone.
Yeah. There are certain folks who probably shouldn't play this game.
And we brought on a really good friend and fellow DM, Brandon, to give his take and his knowledge and wisdom of the years of dealing with unique individuals that should never play.
Oh, hi, Rachel.
Hey! Don't say that! I can play.
Uh-huh. Yeah, I'm just saying. Just saying hi. So, Mike, what inspired the title of this show?
The nicest thing I can say was just dealing with a lot of people you want to ship on a train and just, like, set them ablaze, as you can hear in the background of those fellow players that fucked with me and pissed me off.
So much anger in the show. So
Yeah.
much anger in this episode. Just...
Yeah, but Brandon, give me your take of some of your basic type of things, like if you see this, like, oh my god, and what not to do, your experiences and whatnot.
Well, the funny thing about the No Girls Allowed part of the show, like, the biggest one everybody's going to have a DM's girlfriend story.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone.
Yeah, everyone who's played long enough.
Even I do. And I'm a girl.
Yeah, and it's usually not even his idea to bring her. Like, she'll just want to tag along, but then she'll want to win the game, or she'll try to just get his attention the whole night, and it just bogs the game down. And
then they don't show up.
No, they usually show up, but it turns into a lose-lose situation for everybody. Like, he can't really tell her to,
Die.
To rein things in, or
yeah,
whatever.
to rein it in, to be like, look, this isn't your spotlight. I mean,
You're being very diplomatic, Brandon, I can tell.
I'm trying to be diplomatic. Well, there's
not
a
about
bunch
you,
of different
basically.
variations. Okay, like it depends on their relationship dynamic, on how it goes down, because I've seen it happen about 8 times. Sometimes it was the legitimately wanting to learn, and that everybody's fine with. Actually wanting to play is one thing, but the problem therein lies when they're not there to play, when they're there because they don't want him going out by himself because reasons, I don't know, insecurity, boredom, I don't know, but they ultimately end up getting bored because they're not actually playing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh god, we had a DM's girlfriend situation with our game. She joined, and she didn't really know how to play, and then for whatever reason, she kept wanting to play these specific characters. Like, you remember we had somebody who wanted to play, like, the Joker in our game, and they did. Well, we have the same situation, but with this DM's girlfriend situation. Like, we were trying to play Mage the Awakening, and she wanted to play, like, Indiana Jones, like female Indiana Jones. And then we played another game, which was a homebrew game, and she wanted to like be like Starbuck from fucking Battlestar Galactica, but like not Starbuck really, but like just like just totally everything about the character but different name.
And let me guess, it in no way was compatible with the campaign at all, right?
No, and then they spend all this time like during Mage to just stat out like this weird like magic motorcycle for her or whatever that she never used because she only came to a few sessions and then like just didn't show up after that. And so then we had to put everything on hold. And so then we did another game and then she didn't show up for that either.
The
So it
flaker.
was like, yeah.
Well, a lot of that boils down to when people hear role playing, they think that means anything goes. You know, especially that's like a trend you'll see on some of these videos nowadays. The say yes to everything.
Nope.
No.
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 Have boundaries, because without boundaries, you're not playing a game.
And always set up boundaries and actually enforce them. Don't be a yellow belly about, oh, you want to make people happy. It's better to say no, because you have that one player, they will fucking destroy the game. And this is more of me bitching at players because I've seen too many advice columns, I'll say, blaming the DM more than actually looking at the players and their responsibility in the game of destroying it.
Well, pretty much that sums up the people who shouldn't play is like people who just cannot grasp the concept of boundaries. Like,
Yeah. Like there are rules, house rules for everybody, and it applies to everyone who's playing.
Well, one of the biggest ones I've seen with the players is not respecting your fellow players.
yeah.
Or
Well,
the DM.
Well, that's what made the DM's girlfriend thing so bad, is because they didn't have to respect the other player's boundaries because, they have the DM in their pocket. That stigma, sadly, it gets thrown into like other women, because like when a random girl shows up with another player, they're like, oh, she's the girlfriend. She's going to try to get away with murder and ruin the game.
It's like, oh no.
Well, that's the thing. I understand where it comes from, but that's essentially why I could definitely see it destroying relationships when the guy goes, "Hey, I'm going to follow the rules. I'm going to treat everyone equally. Oh, you act like a dick. You're dead. Your character's died because you were stupid." And no one wants to see that. And if you actually have a relationship like that, or the person gets pissy at that, cut that person out of your life. They're not really.
Yeah, because that's a person who does not respect boundaries at all.
Mm-hmm.
Or here's the other thing is, there's nothing wrong with side role play. However, if you see a player that is essentially humping legs of people to do it constantly, or tries to use it to circumnavigate their own flaws that they fucked up in their game, or in your game, or anyone else's game, that's another one that people, I'm going to say directly, you should not be having in your group, because they're not playing nice with others, and they're just looking at me, my.
Now,
Yeah.
kind of thing.
Yeah.
Also, anybody who just generally wants some kind of special treatment, like you're gonna find like all these folks. You're gonna find like the rules lawyer. Like, oh god, those people should never pay. Holy crap!
Well, here's the deal. They have their place, and they have games. Like, those people can find games.
Oh yeah.
I wouldn't say they shouldn't be playing. It's one of those, they need to find the right group.
They need to calm the fuck down, I think, a little bit. Just a little.
There are some groups where it's fine. Pathfinder groups, okay? That whole system is made to be crunchy for every situation. Everything's already pre-calculated, Oh, you're elevated. Okay, we have rules for this. You want to fight underwater. There's rules for that. It is built for a rules lawyer.
Yeah, I played Pathfinder. It was one of my biggest pet peeves, is that everything got bogged down to the rules lawyer level.
Yes.
But the thing is, some people love that.
Well,
and if that's your group, that's fine.
Yeah, but most people are not that, though. I think that's more of the issue, that most people are not the, I'm going to number crunch autistically going every stage and drawing out a combat that should only be 20 minutes to two game sessions.
No, I've I've been
Yeah.
in groups where they loved it. That wasn't for me. I bowed out of them. I mean, I've even been in a group where you had a whole second set of characters.
Mm-hmm.
Jeez.
You basically had your adventuring crew, and then your other people were like politicians, and you micromanaged a town, and I mean micromanaged.
Oh God.
It was
Oh wow.
crazy the amount of
Jeez.
crap they had in this game.
We could always have one major. We actually had one major rules lawyer in my old group. Um, the thing was that he just seemed so nice, but then he would just suddenly bog everything down.
Well, it's
Suddenly he would just sort of like, no, I get this thing, and I that thing, and that thing, and that thing, and then they'd have to have it go on through
Well,
this whole
Right.
explanation.
Brandon hit it on the head. Find where that is compatible with.
yeah. Well, that's why if they're trying to be in a quote unquote normal group, Rachel, that's why you just set boundaries. You know, let them know up front if it's cool to play like that or not. Same thing with the DM. It's just expectations. You got to let everybody get on the same page and let everybody know these are the expectations for this game. What are your expectations for this game? And work it out at the beginning instead of on the fly.
Hmm.
And it takes a while as a new DM that you start after every failed session or horrible moment, you start adding those rules onto the ever-growing session 0 of don't do this or else F off type of
Yeah,
rule.
because if you have to come up with that later, people are going to turn around and say, "Well, hang on a minute.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I didn't sign up for this. I didn't want to invest my time in a game where, you know, you have these limits and whatnot."
Well, essentially, where my philosophy lies is essentially we're here to roll dice, have a good time, tell a good story, all of us work together and have fun, and not being dicks to each other. Like to me, that's my basic rule. Don't be a dick. Don't push like that.
Yeah, you're doing the implied rules mostly.
Yeah,
Yeah, just
That
don't.
you can do usually with like close friends, you know, but
normal people.
yeah, with normal people, and you know, you usually have to know each other.
Yeah.
You can't just pick up some stranger on the internet and expect them to know.
Yeah.
Implicitly, don't be. Well, essentially, my biggest rule is don't be a dick. And,
Don't
Yeah,
be
but
that guy or
here's the
that
deal:
girl.
that interpretation for some people,
yeah.
oh God, it's all over the place.
That's
To some people can like yell at a cashier for shorting them a nickel, you know, as if the cashier was trying to steal it. And they would look at you right in the face and sincerely tell you that they weren't being a dick when they did it.
yeah. I've
Even if they were yelling and telling that person that they were a, you know, money grubbing
yeah.
thief who wanted to steal their nickel.
I actually had that happen to me in a game DMing where I asked the guy nicely, please close the monster manual.
He had it open.
He had it open. I asked nicely, please close the monster manual. I don't want people literally looking up the stats mid game to win quote unquote D&D and the how do I describe the shrill shrieking midget from hell type of feel
Oh
from
my
it.
god! Wow. Oh jeez.
Yeah,
Just that. It's like an angry little hobbit kind of situation. It's
and
just,
as Brandon said, you put it quite clearly. Like he didn't feel he was being abusive towards me when I told him don't do that nicely, and that's well. Then again, that game did die shortly after that.
yeah. It's just it really does come down to putting your foot down, like from the beginning, and laying down the law.
Oh, well, here's one of the other things.
Well, you don't have to make it sound so forceful. It's just more of a simple contract with everybody. Like, look, this is the
Yes.
plan. Just laying it out. This is the plan. This is what we're going to do. It's like planning a road trip, essentially. We're going to stop here, here, and here. You know, we're going to veer off at some places, but this is the general direction we're headed. We're going to make so many pee breaks, so many food breaks.
Well, actually, it's essentially
There's some wiggle room, but what do you
Yes.
guys think about this? Here's the rules for the car. You know, here's who's going to take care of the music.
Yeah.
You have to have some sort of plan.
Yes.
I mean, you can try to wing it, but I would only do that if you had like close friends and you've already gamed it before, to where most of it's implied.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
No. Well, one of the other things is I think is ultimately one of the bigger ones is must play well with others, and as much as that's a lot, my implied, like I would
Yeah.
expect most people to understand it. If you cannot play with other people, if you have to force people, undercut them while playing, I'm gonna say like that's kind of one of those people to worry about, especially if you're a new DM.
Especially if they can't share.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. D&D is a group game. It should always, yeah, people should always remember it as a group game. It's about everybody. You know, it's working together as a group. It's a team game. It's not, you know, you shouldn't have single player itis.
No, no, it's about me, and I'm gonna win. I'm gonna win the D
It's
and
about
D.
it's about me and my character and their backstory, their super special backstory, and we're gonna go through all of those things, and I'm gonna have character growth. Me, mine.
Well, another one. I think Brandon, you had this happen to you. A player refused to give you any information about their character when you asked nicely.
That one floored me. That one, out of all the time I've ever been playing, happened once, and I've never heard a player tell me, "I don't have to tell you that." When I just asked them what the hell they were playing.
Oh, I even remember it was like, hey, what's your character? What's your class? What's your race? Nothing like.
Yeah, it wasn't anything like, "I want to know every single detail about your backstory and all this stuff." No, it was like the basics. I need the basics of your character. I don't have to tell you. But see, that's the great thing. You get stuff like that out of the way quickly at the beginning, because like that player I knew wasn't going to make it, and just boom, delete from list.
Well, as cold as that sounds, that is the best solution.
Yeah, I
Just
mean,
know.
what do you do with that? You sit there and drag it. Anybody who's going to say something like that early, they're going to be nothing but a problem. And I mean, they weren't joking around either.
Oh yeah, and I think the best one was you had us in there, and you were like, "How do your guys relate to each other?" And I think we had, what was it, a 10, 15-minute conversation with you. It was Rachel, me, and magical other person who just didn't exist for a moment until God knows when.
We shall remain nameless.
But that is why you have your session zeros. You get everything out of the way at the beginning. You're going to find out, if you're thorough enough, you're going to find out whether or not somebody's going to be compatible before they kill your game.
Mm.
Or get turned into a dumpster baby.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that was fun. That was actually.
Well,
Oh,
again,
come on. That was actually really great, wasn't it, though? That was really funny.
yeah, Brandon was a player in a Dark Heresy campaign, and I have to say I very much enjoyed it. I very much don't like the idea of players killing players, but I do have a philosophy: if you start antagonizing people, I even say, don't be surprised if bodies hit the floor. And you can
it's all about-
you can explain it, Brandon, too.
It wasn't even him antagonizing me. It was him actively trying to torpedo the game at every turn.
Mm.
I mean, that's what it boiled down to.
Also, the rules within the world state that, you know, if you're breaking the law in this manner, it's the penalty is death.
Well, that's what it was. He knew that. He was warned about that beforehand.
Yeah, we told him not to do it.
But he wanted the world to break for him.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I'm saying you have to set that down, session zero, and let them know the world is not going to break for you.
Funny thing is, I told him that, and I think he was just surprised as a rookie DM that I was not going to let the trigger get pulled. Good luck with
God.
that.
Oh God, he set part of the city on fire, basically, and thought there was not going to be any consequences for setting the town on fire. You know, with attached built residences and things like in stores and stuff.
Yeah,
It's just
Rachel's trying to be very nice by saying, slum lord city town with gang members, with all this stuff on, with a military police presence, with a military officer, police officer, with the same group protecting the city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You were nicer than me though, because honestly, I would have made him more mad as the DM,
Oh, what would you have done?
and his character would have lived. That's the funniest part. Just every time he tried one of his moronic plans to break the world, I would have just basically had it fail. Like when he tried to set that building on fire. Okay, the sprinkler puts it out instantly.
That would have been funny. That would have been funnier. Just to completely deflate everything.
And ladies and gentlemen, this is the difference between an experienced DM and me, the inexperienced DM, where he would have just gone, oh, it's put out. Sorry, it sucks to be
Yeah,
you.
sure. You can throw that Molotov, and he's got a sprinkler that puts it out.
And actually, that's probably some of the best things. Is the more you play, you'll learn that if you have players like that, you can do those things.
I do regret that I didn't get a
You'll-
chance to set things on fire.
He would eventually end up trying to ramp it up, though. But then you let him ramp it up to the point where he just blows himself up. Because I mean, that's what it would end up.
Oh, I had no problem with a character dying
And,
because
and see, that's the best because he can't argue when he blows himself up.
I just feel bad I didn't get a chance to burn heretics. It would have been fun.
no. Remember, we had a psyker who was a pyromaniac who summoned two demon hosts accidentally with rolls.
Yeah, and I should have just let the psyker die because the psyker was being dumb, or I should have just killed the psyker, and I would have been totally fine within the law to do it.
Well, one of the other things is I think is very important when players play in a universe, especially if it's like already created, be it Eberron, Faerun, Warhammer. At least try to do some of the groundwork of understanding it. Don't always like expect the DM to tell you all the lore and history. Like try to do some of the legwork yourself. Like, hey, I want to be a psyker. Google psychers in 40k. What does that mean? Like, we
Yeah.
got
Well,
the
yeah,
internet.
that goes back to the people who shouldn't play. People who aren't going to put in the minutes, and I mean, it just takes minutes to read some of this stuff. You can go on like a Wikipedia page, and they have it distilled down into a couple paragraphs usually.
Or
of
our
notes
favorite
on it.
1d4chan.
Yeah,
Yes, they do explain that pretty well on
people
1d4
have it distilled down so quick. You don't have to sit here and read through every single note ever written. All these novels people have written, all the Forgotten Realms and all that. You don't have to read that stuff. Most of the basic Wikipedia pages will tell you more than enough than what you need to know.
And then
Yep.
just time and experience will fill in the rest. And I think that's my biggest gripe with any people who, and this is with established universes. If a DM makes their own universe, this is where I feel it relies more on the DM to explain a lot, and that's kind of why I kind of shy away from that. Or if I do, and I kind of have my own kind of semi-made universe that these guys are playing in. It's a modified Faerun, so if anything goes a way that I don't know what to do, I let them start making it up. Because it's collaborative. My whole idea is like, oh, let's everyone have fun, make it.
Yeah, that's what I hate is when somebody will make their own setting and no one else gets input. It's just their setting.
Oh gosh, I did a couple of those games.
And they give you no information on it. And basically their whole thing
Nothing.
is, well, it's just trial and error on your part. It's like, really? I don't know if this one race that you made super common, I don't know where they stand in the world. I just have to. Well, how does that work? I supposedly live in this universe.
Exactly. That's
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why I let you guys, when I say go run with it, it's my full range of like, I don't like Faerun. It's too generic for me. So that's why I let you guys like, oh, I want to have this happen. Okay, say what you think in your mind about what would be here. I'm gonna have fun with it because it's my fun enjoying seeing you create and like tinker and kick things over, even if it's just a rock.
Oh gosh.
No, but as Brandon said, like you have a pre-made. If you're making your own universe, the players should
Oh,
have
yeah.
a good deal of input, and I think a wise DM would then actually keep the areas that they're put in small or out of the way, so it's not like you don't have all these webs connecting to it where you have to explain to your players if it's already a pre-created universe that you've been working on for years.
Yeah, I played in a campaign like that where it was homebrew, and the guy said he'd been working on it for years and everything like that, and it was painfully linear to the point where there really wasn't anything. It was ultimately we weren't really playing a game. We were just helping to fulfill his story, and it really, really blew. Like it got so boring to the point where eventually all of us players ended up deciding to just kind of nuke everything from orbit and become sky pirates.
Well, those are people that don't need to be in the game too. You know, it's that blanket. It's the blanket that doesn't play well with others. I mean, they just want to tell their story. To hell with everyone else. You know, Kojima. Just
Yes.
no game, just cutscenes.
Do you remember any like homebrewed worlds that you've ever played in that you actually remember that were fun and memorable or enjoyable? Brandon?
Most people I knew never did a full homebrew. It was, you know, we're gonna play in Greyhawk, but this has changed.
Okay.
That's how most of them do. Because if not, you have to spend so much time on the world building, so much, and it's really not worth it. You're going to sit here and work on minutia that's not even going to matter in the grand scheme of things. Just let the players fill in the blanks for the most part.
The only homebrew game I think I played that was actually decent was with a different DM than we had with those other two homebrew things. It was actually some kind of variation of that was D&T 4th edition rules, but we were using it to play Bleach, and the only reason it was cool was because there was at least one time where we would keep fighting these hollow things or whatever. I know I'm weaving out here. I never really liked the show even, but we got to fight all these things, and at one point we got to get one of them high on drugs because we had confiscated them. So we got the octopus thing high, the tentacle monster high, and then we killed it. It was really funny. When you have that option.
How come every single game you're in, you have to take advantage of a tentacle monster?
You
do it every game. Every game.
You did.
You just described how you drugged it.
You did it in Shadowrun too.
In Shadowrun, I gave it an orgasm.
Okay, Brandon, we gotta change her classes she plays because that Rachel playing sounds more interesting than the cleric she's playing now.
The cleric she plays now is interesting. If by interesting you mean like wet blankets are interesting.
Terrified.
I mean, yeah, she just kind of shivers like a chihuahua and pisses herself.
I mean, she almost made the whole group asphyxiate.
Yeah,
well, I nearly killed everybody. I know I fucked up on that one. But you think so what? You think I need to be like getting the monsters high somehow?
Yes.
Okay, Rachel. Okay,
that would be useful.
I was gonna say, ladies and gentlemen, Rachel is a knowledge domain cleric, and I'm an easygoing DM. A nature check, play to your god to get to this, or whatever, like those special abilities. I would let her get things high as a fucking kite, and she has little frog people following the group in an army full of poison bolts they're using as pikes. She could literally go, "Hey, can I get you to let them lick you so they go high as a kite?" Like, I'm not one of those that says no to many things. And Rachel's laughing, just realizing the level of, oh my god, use your knowledge domain. You're a knowledge cleric. Weeb out, go crazy, get things to go, oh my god.
Okay, you know what? Fine. Next game, we'll try to find a way to get something high. Okay. We'll find a way.
You better make it make sense. And Brandon, you agree with me? Like, this is what a knowledge domain cleric should do. Like, be interesting.
Yeah, she'll probably get herself high, which could be interesting because then maybe she won't be so damn weird.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, thank you for joining us at the Drunken Tarrasque, where you don't just get drunk, you get
Yes.
high as a kite, a butterfly in the sky.
I could go twice as high.
Okay, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Night. Read rainbow.